What's up, guys? I'm back again, and I may be coughing a little bit. I promise you, I am not infected with any kind of virus that is pandemic in nature. It is mostly just me recovering from a fucking cold from like a month ago. So don't worry about it. See me in person, don't worry about it. You know, just let me cough. But I'm here with, I taught the. I'm here with Tuboware. And by sheer chance, I spoke with him, like, I think it was Evo Japan. And I was able to, like, become acquainted with Tuboware just by, like, sheer chance. I guess he was just looking for somebody that was streaming the Evo Japan. Because, you know, Evo Japan had that shit locked down. So if you wanted to say anything in chat, you had to, like, go to the sub streams. And I was the only one doing it. But it was a good opportunity because now I got this guy here. So, you know, why don't you introduce yourself, man?
What's going on, guys? I'm Tuboware, and yeah, that's exactly what happened. Actually, I think I was. I don't drink very often, but I'm pretty sure I was hammered that night, and I was just going to random streams talking mad shit. Because yeah, Evo Japan, you had to subscribe or whatever, and I didn't want to do all that just to talk and chat with a bunch of other people that were spamming the chat. So I was just looking for random rooms, and yours was up.
It's funny. I think the only reason he even saw it is because I think either Angel Freak, Shin Chie, or somebody was like, "Hey, Painbot streaming it," and you know all the New York guys were in there, so we all just had a good time. But you did come in talking that shit. I mean, you were just like, "Y'all don't know, my Shizamaru's nice. I just don't play the character in tournament because I'm commentating." I mean, you were saying some of that good shit. I mean, how much of that is true, man? Like, is you just see Shizamaru gross and we just don't know?
Right now?
Yeah.
No.
Man, so you were hammered?
No, I mean, at that point in time, yeah, I was actually practiced up, and I was feeling good. I think I had just taken fourth at Rona Rumble, maybe like a week or so prior. So, or maybe no, it had to been right before Frosties. Either way, yeah, no, I was feeling myself back in January. But if I'm being honest, I haven't played as much recently, man. Our locals are, I don't want to say dead, but dwindling for Sam Show. Mostly just because Grand Blue and all these other games are coming out. But yeah, no, I was feeling myself back in January and prior, maybe from like Evo on. I was feeling myself, but yeah, no, I'm okay. I'm a commentator. I'm better than most commentators. I'll put it that way.
The dangerous commentator.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, you better. I mean, if you want to show everyone you're gross, you gotta do it soon, because who knows how long this Shizamaru training is gonna last. Because
I mean, I'll just pick the next top tier.
This guy. No, the loyalty to the child.
No, I actually really like Shizu. But the messed up part is I picked Genjiro when the game came out, not because he was top tier, just because I like the character, and then he turned out to be dumb. And then Shizu came out, I was like, yo, this character is instant overheads, I'm playing him. And then, of course, he's top tier. Yeah, so I just look like a huge hero, which is fine. Like, I do not pick bad characters anymore. But regardless, I just pick, especially in Sam Show, I pick whoever I like because, you know, it's easy enough to learn characters that I can just do that.
I mean, you're right. I mean, honestly, it's not a crime to try characters out and then go, yeah, like and then you're like, oh, this one's good, I'll play it. And then someone's like, hey, you can't do that. You can't pick a good character.
Yeah, it's time to hold those L's.
Yeah, like get ready to get fucked by Tap or Crazy Downpour. But yeah, man. So all that aside, what's we were talking a little bit earlier before. So what's your like the lore? Like, how did you become a member of the FGC and kind of like become more well known? I don't really know how. I came in during Street Fighter 4, but I wasn't very good at fighting games until the end of Street Fighter 4. So sure. I wasn't like traveling, and so I didn't meet people like doing that. So I don't know if you were good coming into like, oh, you said 09. I think you told me it was like 09. I don't know if you were good coming in and you were just like, all right, I'm gonna be traveling and getting to know people and all this good stuff.
So I guess you could say I got lucky. I don't know how to really put it. I was in the right place at the right time, I suppose. But yeah, so I started playing when HD Remix got announced. I got really excited, and I had just moved to Las Vegas not long before that game came out in 2008. So I bought my first arcade stick, and I was like, yo, I'm taking fighting games seriously. I'm going to play HDR to get ready for Street Fighter 4. That was the plan. So that's what I did. So I guess technically the first fighting game tournament I played in was in 2008 in Las Vegas, because that's where I lived at the time. So I guess I'm not really an 09er. I guess I'm an 08er, but whatever, man. I came in because of Street Fighter 4, like the majority of people that play today.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just got lucky. Like I played Blanca, and a lot of people didn't know how to fight the character in 4. I played Ken in HDR, but anyways, so I wasn't like the best, you know, I wasn't amazing or anything, but I moved from Vegas. I met a lot of cool people in Vegas, and then I moved from there back to the Midwest, and I helped my scene grow at the University of Illinois. So I just helped that grow with a bunch of other people like Humbag and Big Marcus eventually became my roommate. So I had one of the best bisons, if not the best bison in America at the time, as my roommate. And you know, I guess I was lucky, I suppose. I met Gutex randomly.
No.
So when I lived in Las Vegas, I worked at Best Buy, and I was the asshole that stands in front of the store and checks your receipt on the way out. And so, no shit, I'm working the Wednesday before Evo 2009, and I had already had the weekend off. Like, I was ready for Evo, blah blah blah. And I lived in Vegas, so it was my local major at the time. And Gutex and Edma walk in to my Best Buy, and I'm like, oh shit, you're Gutex. And of course, at the time, you know, he was pumped that someone recognized him because
because he's just starting out, kind of.
Yeah, it was well before we were, you know, esports or whatever.
Yeah.
So him and I got to talking or whatever. We exchanged numbers, and that was like the first esports person I guess I met, because, you know, he was trying to make big moves back then. So he kind of helped me become someone, I suppose. I started writing for his website a little bit and making videos and whatnot. So that was cool. And then I moved to Illinois, and Midwest Championships happened, and I met Keats. And the first thing I said when I met Keats, I walked into Midwest Championships the day before anything was going on. Everybody's setting up, and he's running around. And I walk up to him like, hey, my name's Tuboware. Nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. How can I help out? And he looked at me dead in the face and was like, the best way you can help me is stay the fuck out of my way. I remember it like it was yesterday. And now Adam is like one of my best friends. So he gave me a big leg up, because he ran MWC in 2010 and then gave the tournament back to the original Dream Theater. He gave it back to him and started running UFGT. And so UFGT 2011 was the first major I got to commentate at. And I think I did that for 4 years before I got to finally do a top 8. My first top 8 of any major was Ultimate Marvel 3 at the first Combo Breaker 2015.
That must have been like for you, that had to be exciting. That was Marvel and Combo Breaker? Damn, that had to be exciting.
That was like my moment. Like at the time when I first started doing commentary, that was my goal. It was like, oh, I want to do top 8 at a major. It didn't matter what major. I just want to do top 8 at a major. And then I got to. So me and Viscant did that. And then ever since that year, I've done multiple top 8s at Combo Breaker every year, and then CEO, Frosty Faustings. I mean, I've been commentating top 8s at Frosty Faustings, but at the time it wasn't a major. It was like a regional. I would call it a major now. I mean, I think it has the 5th most entrants of like overall people of any fighting game tournament in the country now.
It has grown. So, I think Frosty is
pretty big.
I think Frosty's growing is attributed to the sheer amount of games they have.
Yeah, that, and I think, I mean, nothing against the Frosties team, like they're amazing, but I think Combo Breaker and UFGT setting the reputation for Chicago having the best tournaments and the best staff, I think that helped Frosty a lot too. So people actually fly out to Chicago in the middle of January, which is wild.
I mean, when when your state looks good and people put in the effort, it helps everybody a lot. I mean, right now, I mean, I don't know if any of the final round guys are listening to me, but they're not exactly doing us any favors here in Georgia. Every now and then, like, I try to invite some, New York guys down, and they're just like, we ain't fucking going down there for final round. And I'm just like,
I mean, final round had a rough go, man. Like they were the biggest major for Street Fighter 4 when it came out, and then when Street Fighter 5 came out, they were the first major for that time. And so they had like these humongous bracket numbers that they probably didn't expect. And like that sucks because, if you're not prepared for that, your tournament's going to be whack. Like it's going to run late and people are going to get frustrated. And I think that happened to them twice, right?
Well, I mean, I live here. It's not like they just weren't. No, let's talk about something else. I know too much, so I'm gonna just like keep it moving.
I mean, I probably know some stuff too, being that I work on Frosties and Combo Breaker and such. But I don't want to bash other people's tournaments. So it's not.
I mean, I would.
I
don't like. I wouldn't disagree even if you did, because right now, I hope right now the goal right now for us locally is to like make sure everything goes smoothly. And everybody wants to come back. But then final round hasn't put out anything regarding anything in like a week. Or like it's only like 3 weeks left. And we don't know shit.
Yeah, it's happening. Or it's supposed to be happening.
Yeah. So we're worried. But anyway, so Combo Breaker, big break. You commentated Marvel, and then you had a good streak of always commentating top 8s afterwards. So you're like you said, you just met a lot of really cool people, and a lot of those people you named, they're all really cool people. Those are all really cool people in the community.
Yeah. I can't speak for other people, but I know in my regards that I wouldn't be who I am and where I am without the people I know. Like I feel like there's a lot of people who want to tell you that they worked really hard and they did it on their own, but that's bullshit. Like nobody ever makes it in life without someone believing in them. And I've been lucky enough that I've had quite a few people in the FGC believe in me. So
I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. There's a lot of it's really hard or impossible almost to be on your own and expect everything to be done beneficially to you and to get places and to meet people. You need to meet. You don't need to like force your friendship on people, but honestly, if you're a good person and they're a good person and you keep each other's good company, then obviously something will happen. That's all you can be. Obviously if you're trash, the good people are not gonna want to help you. But if you're a cool guy and they're cool, then sure enough, maybe you'll meet some more cool guys, and then who knows? Then you'll be commentating at Combo Breaker.
Networking is a skill.
Yeah,
that is a fact. Networking is a skill. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
I'm literally just that. I've almost become only that, just networking. I feel bad because I feel like I haven't earned anything because I haven't.
And you'll definitely have imposter syndrome because I do every day, and I'm not even anyone, right? Like a lot of my peers and friends are David and James and Tasty and Sajam and all these other incredible commentators that are on ESPN and shit. And I'm like, well, I got to commentate top 32 at Evo. I'm pretty cool, I feel like an imposter, and so it doesn't go away. Is what I'm trying to say. You just have to fight it and accept that you've earned where you are.
It's tough. I constantly just like. So like I'll talk. There's like 2 people that I hang out with. Actually, there's a lot of people I hang out with that make me feel this way. Where like I don't know, like Bates, Terrence,
Big Bates,
Coach, Doggy. I mean, there's a lot of cool guys that have been around for a while. Almost, I think Bates kind of came in the same time I did, but at the same time, I'm always just like, I'm not that great. Like, I'm not that good. I'm good enough at Sam Show, but like, I'm not that good at to get people's attention, right? But then sometimes they reassure me that I'm just doing the right thing when and you know, it's all they need is they just need someone who's cool
Yeah.
to be around. It makes me feel like, you know, even if I'm not good, if I stop playing Sam Show, they would still talk to me, and that makes me feel good, and it makes me work twice as hard almost, just about
Sure.
like. But yeah, like that kind of stuff's important. You really do need good people. Like who would know? Who knows? Had you not crossed Gutex, what could have not happened?
It could be really different right now. Things could just in general be different. And that happened by chance. You know, that's what I mean. Like I don't feel like I necessarily earned everything I am, because it just happened. I was working at my day job and the man walked in. You know, so yeah, just chance. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, I guess. I don't know. Pretty sure Daigo said that at some point, so I'll go with it.
I believe him. Them motherfuckers, he throws them reversals. I mean, chances. People, I feel like people really need to. I completely agree with everything you said. So, like, the reason being is that I think people really need to appreciate luck. Mostly because they need to take a look at themselves and just be like, okay, I was lucky this happened. This is hard work, but this is also luck that this happened. Because just like I told a story, I think like I've told a story maybe twice now, but I ran into some kid. I don't think I told it on a podcast. Just on a recap. I ran into a kid at the airport who was like 18, and I was just my brother had gotten late to come pick me up from the airport.
Mm-hmm.
So I had already went through the airport once, and I fucking hate the airport. And so I was like, man, fuck this shit. I don't want to fucking hang out in the airport. So I sat out. I sat outside deliberately, and I had walked through the airport with my arcade stick in my luggage. So I sat outside, and after 30 minutes, it was cold as fuck. That was just the random day where there was a cold snap. And after like 30 minutes, like, man, fuck this shit. I gotta go back inside the airport. So I went back inside, and I was getting my Popeyes, and I had taken my stick out to just to make sure I don't sit it down weird and like break the fucking stick. And while I was in line, a kid just comes up, and he goes, "Hey, is that an arcade stick?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Play fighting games?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, I travel and play fighting games. I'm all right. I do pretty okay. I just got back from New York to compete." He's like, "Oh, that's cool." And he goes, "I have no idea how to find out all this shit in the FGC." And I'm like, "You don't know how to find locals?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't know if there's any locals in Atlanta." And I'm like, "Dude, there's so many locals." He's a Tekken guy, by the way, so he doesn't even know there's Tekken stuff here. And he's like,
that's like Tekken. That's Tekken Haven right there.
Yeah, and so like I sat him down. And I showed him how to set up a Twitter and set up Smash ZG and showed him how to do Discord. I showed him to do everything, and I set him up. But there's no way like he probably would never have found how to do half of this shit, because he's like, I just gave up, and I couldn't tell how to figure out where stuff was. So like that's just sheer chance. So like that guy just chance meeting me. That was the only way he would have fucking like came across the fighting game community correctly anyway.
Right.
So like people just need to sometimes you just need to lean back and just look at some of the lucky breaks they got. I mean, I don't want to. I never take for granted the lucky things that happen to me. I gotta respect everything. But yeah, sorry I went on a tangent.
No, you're good, man.
But yeah, so you mostly do commentary, but you did compete at some point.
I mean, I still do, to be honest.
I mean, is it your focus though? Like, hey, I'm gonna be the grossest. Like, is that you? I'm just gonna, I guess, like throw it all out there. As far as commentary opportunities go, if you don't live in Southern California, you probably don't get as many as other people. And that's just big facts, right? Like that's just how it is. Yeah.
And where I am as a commentator in my career, I've tweeted about this before, but essentially, if you're not part of a pro tour, if you're not part of Capcom's, staff, if you're not part of NRS's staff, if you're not part of whoever's running pro tours and flying out commentators, it's a really, really hard decision for a tournament organizer to go into their own pocket and fly you out when, you know, Ultra David, James Chen, Sajam, Tasty Steve, Yipes, Rip, etc. are all getting flown out by Namco, NRS, Capcom at their cost rather than the TO's cost. So even though like I feel I'm pretty strong and people that are very strong commentators have said the same thing, the TO, I can't blame them for not wanting to pay me directly when all these other talented commentators are there. So, you know, if Sajam is there for Street Fighter, you'd be like, hey, Steve, great, you're here to do Street Fighter Top 8, but do you also, you know, want to take $100 or whatever to do Dragon Ball FighterZ Top 8 since you're here anyways? And of course Steve's going to say yeah. So with all that said, I can't make commentary my only focus in the FGC. It's what I like to be my main focus, but if I'm being realistic, I still want to compete because I know that I'm probably never going to be a full-time commentator. Like, I'm not willing to risk it all and go sleep on someone's couch in SoCal in hopes that maybe one day I'll, you know, make the right connection and be able to do that. Like, you know, I'm 32, so I have to actually make money and support, I guess, my cat because I don't have kids or a wife. But,
don't worry, I
feel
the same with my dog.
Yeah, I just have real life responsibilities that I'm maybe if I was like 23, 24, you know, and this was where it is now, maybe I'll take that risk and try that, but I'm not that age anymore. So I still like to focus on competing as much as I can. And when I do, I generally have pretty good results. For example, when Marvel Infinite came out, a bunch of us went to Keats's place because he lives in Orlando right before CEO Otaku. And that was maybe Marvel Infinite was out for 2 weeks at that point, I think. Mm-hmm. And who was it? It was me. Well, obviously Keats, me, my buddy K Loud, Ski Sonic, my buddy Heroic Legacy. I don't know. There was like 8 of us that stayed with Adam. He has a pretty big house in Orlando. And we ended up out of the top 16, I think 7 of us or 6 of us ended up in the top 16 of that tournament. So like we all came there and we dominated, and like I was I think I was 9th or 13th, one of the two. So when I like really try and go hard, I'm still pretty successful. Mm-hmm. And I mean, like I like competing. I still get a rush from winning, or you know, I still get sad when I lose. Like that's never changed. So as long as I have the ability to compete, I will. But then there's some events like this past Frosty Faustings where I'm hired for so much commentary that I just absolutely cannot enter. Which was the case at Frosty's. I wanted to play Sam Show because there were so many strong players there. And I mean, legitly, if you were top 32 at Frosty's and Sam Show, you're one of the best players in the world. Like, that's how stacked the bracket was.
Damn.
So I wanted to be one of those guys, at least, you know, to try to be there. But, you know, I couldn't. I was legitimately too busy. And I'll probably be that way a combo breaker. Maybe I'll get to enter CEO or Evo, but I don't know, man. I'm basically the guy that gets hired for all the games that aren't tours. So
hey, so you'll be commentating Power Rangers. Oh wait, no, that's got a tour.
That's got a tour. Yeah, I probably wouldn't even get to do that. To be fair, I wouldn't want to. I couldn't pick up another game, man. I'm already like at capacity with Grand Blue out now too, and Sam Show and everything else. And just so much to learn and know. And I don't like to sound dumb on commentary.
No. I appreciate that idea of not sounding stupid. Because just the ambition to know the game well enough to always sound like you know what you're doing is very important to me, because I don't like when commentary, like the commentators just use filler for knowledge. Just like instead of actually commentating the situations, they'll use just like generic whatever. They're just like, hey, that was
a great anti-air. All right, dude.
Yeah, like, all right, man. Like, let's keep it moving.
Yeah. But what a jumping.
yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm not exactly like a pro commentator, so of course I'll do that shit when I'm talking on my stream. But like, you know, I appreciate the commentators doing it because I know they put the work into it.
Yeah, I randomly went in Andy stream not too long ago, and he was like, "Oh, hey, it's Tuboware. He's a really knowledgeable." Thanks. That means a lot because you're fucking nice at Sam Show. So I respect that.
That guy's good. He's
yeah, Andy's dope.
He put a
Andy's
stop.
Been around forever too.
He put a stop to my reign of terror.
Yeah, he's good, man. Honestly, I hate Jubei. So.
Oh, okay.
I hate Jubei.
I don't like that character either, but it's mostly because he's just my character, but better in every way.
Well, yeah, that'll do it.
That's the only reason why I really don't like him. But, for the most part, he's a manageable character. He's just a footsie character, so you just expect what you... He's not going to unexpectedly do some derpy-ass shit and kill you, but he will just beat you, just straight up, and that's also frustrating. Man, that character's good as fuck. You ain't lying.
I don't like characters that make me think, and he makes me think.
I mean, you pick Shizu, man. Why don't you just run in and do crazy?
Yeah, that's the problem. I play Shizu. I try to run in and go nuts. And I eat a stand medium and or neutral jump medium. Jesus.
That character, to me, I respect Jubei players regardless because he's the can't bitch out club. I call characters that can't hold up the can't bitch out club because if they get pressured in Samurai Shodown and they hold up to get out of pressure, they are so floaty that they're the most easily anti-aired characters in the game, and they eat shit for that. So Tam Tam, Ukyo, and Jubei, they can't hold up. But Ukyo can bypass this shit with fucking Tsubame Gaishi. And then fucking...
I could go on and on about how Ukyo is actually the best. That character is legitimately the best, and nobody talks about it. It makes me so mad.
I hate playing versus Shizu. You know why? Because this stupid ass JC makes Tsubame Gaishi whiff at the apex of his jump for some reason. So you can just beat... Yeah, good? Okay.
Hold that.
That shit is so good. That character is a problem. Fucking Shizumaru?
He's good.
He's just so well-rounded with no weakness. He needs to have the same health as Jubei. Not Jubei, but Ukyo. I just don't understand why.
He has low health.
He does not have Ukyo health though. That's what I want.
But yeah, I mean, he still has low health though.
That shit is the same as Tam Tam. Why you got the same health as me? Why? Why you got the same health as Tam Tam?
Listen, he needs it. I'm surprised that they didn't make any balance changes for this season yet. Are they going to?
Down the grapevine, I heard that maybe they will, but it wouldn't be until after the World Championships is done.
Huh, that's wild.
So they're holding on to those balance changes so Shizumaru can win and then they can just switch it.
I mean, sure, why not? Well, I mean, that's if the championship even happens, right?
Yeah, that's
everything's getting canceled. It's pretty scary out there. I mean, I don't want to say scary like people are dying left and right, but I mean scary in that a bunch of FGC events and cons and things like that are getting shut down. That could legitimately if a tournament doesn't happen for 1 year, there's a good chance it doesn't happen the next year, at all. They're gonna have to pay all the fees for canceling their venue and blah blah blah, and that could be the end of a tournament. So that sucks.
Yeah, and then not only that, but everyone that had planned to go has to cancel their plans, and then hopefully they get a refund. All those flights.
Yeah, man, yeah, right. You're definitely not getting your flight back. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, I usually pay for my I pay for some kind of insurance or some shit.
Oh yeah, that's smart. I'm cheap, so I never do. I just say, you know what? If I miss it, I miss it. it's just gonna be that way.
You live life on the fast lane.
Yeah,
no wonder you're reckless. I gotta watch out for you. You fucking tap on wake up or some shit.
Facts.
Yeah, honestly, the virus does have a cascading effect on finances everywhere for this exact reason, and the tours, man, they're suffering for this because I think Capcom Pro Tour has already canceled 3 events, I think, but it's just
something like that.
It's just so much involved with an event. People put off time to go to an event. They buy tickets and get hotels, they fucking plan this money, and then the organizers spend forever getting a good venue with a good price and designing everything, and
not to mention thousands of dollars for all that stuff.
I mean, if they're a good tournament organizer, they'll do all that other thing I said, but if they're whatever, then I'll get it last second. But for the most part, people like, I guess combo breaker is always like, to me, combo breaker is like the tournament done right. So like I like the combo breaker for like, hey, this is how it's supposed to be. Like if you're a TO and you want to know how it works, look at that. That's I'm not saying you need to be as big as combo breaker, but you should plan as far ahead as the organized combo breaker to make sure everything goes smooth.
Yeah, combo breaker is it's the best, hands down, the best event, in my opinion. I mean, other people's as well, but yeah, combo breaker is incredible. It definitely has set the bar for tournaments, in my opinion.
I mean, we don't have a video of Poke Chop getting told to shut the fuck up coming out of combo breaker. Did you ever see that video?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was something else. But anyway, the state of Samurai Shodown right now is everyone kind of like hating on Shizu.
Yeah, I blame Lord Jimmy Bones 100% for that.
Why?
I mean, I also blame Diddy for winning with the character.
I mean,
but
yeah.
Lord Jimmy Bones is definitely the most outspoken big name player that hates Shizu, like by far. That dude, if he sees Shizu on stream, he's in chat. Oh my god, this character. if Shizu gets mentioned on Twitter, oh Shizu Maru. Let's downplay Charlotte while I talk about how good Shizumaru is.
Dude, I hate when he downplays Charlotte, dude. Terrence beats my ass with Charlotte. That character is so fucking good.
Charlotte is good. Yeah, I mean, like, sure, her best poke is her stand medium, and you know that it's coming, but she also has a slide and one of the best Ks in the game. Like, she has so many other options. She doesn't have to just hit 5M over and over again.
And even then, I mean, that's a legitimate game plan. That button's good as fuck. I mean,
yeah.
Let's not joke around here. That's a good ass fucking button. And then her jump arc is stupid. Her fucking JC is stupid. Her bayonet lunge like almost masks the problem of her being deflected because it's the same range you would have deflected and just beats deflect anyway.
Yep. Yo, but listen, Jimmy would tell you that's all wrong.
That man just getting jumped on. He ain't anti-airing. He's getting upset about it. Honestly, I think Jimmy, I honestly feel like Jimmy weakened himself the moment he lost with Charlotte and then started looking for other characters to play instead of just trying to figure out why he lost to Charlotte. And so now he's like, his toes were dipped into too many characters. That's the only thing I can see. Like as soon as he lost once, I think at Canada Cup, I think he just got much weaker. And I think it's because he just started dipping his toes into too many characters. And then so his Charlotte, he couldn't even fall back on that because now Charlotte's out of practice or it's just not as strong because instead of making Charlotte a fucking fortress, he tried to pick Basara or Ukyo. I think he went to Ukyo for a little bit there. But
yeah, I mean, well, he's been playing Ukyo since the game came out too, but not nearly as much as Charlotte. So, I mean, that was a natural kind of switch. And I think Sam Show is simple enough where you should be able to play 2 or 3 characters at a high level, right? Like if you take the game seriously, especially as seriously as Jimmy does, you should be able to play at least 2 characters. But you're definitely going to have one character that you're stronger with than the other. Like, for example, Didymo has 8 characters he can play, but none of them are as strong as Shizu, which kind of also speaks to how strong Shizu is. But regardless, you're always going to have your main. And yeah, maybe him just not accepting that Charlotte is his girl kind of screwed him up a little bit. But yeah, I definitely think a lot of the Shizu hate is in part because of Jimmy hating publicly, very loudly publicly, that character.
I'm pretty vocal about the character too, but it's mainly
I mean many people are, but not like Jimmy.
That's true. I mean, he was, to me, maybe not so much anymore because he's kind of his attention is split. Because
he's on that Grand Blue grind now.
Yeah, so now he's not actively trying to get gross at Sam Show now. I think he's turned his attention to Grand Blue, which also has delayed netcode, so I will not be playing that. I am just gonna overlook that game. I'm gonna watch it.
So I'm gonna like keep it 100. Be real with you right now.
Uh-huh.
I don't support delay-based netcode. However, if there's any game that's ever had delay-based netcode that I've played extensively online that I really couldn't complain about, it's Grand Blue. Like, delay-based netcode is only so good, right? But this is the best delay-based netcode I've ever played in.
I'm gonna meet you halfway on this. I agree, it's good, but I will tell you this: it's only good because it's new. Once people stop playing, or the community gets split into like a half, then we'll see. Because
we'll see. I would think that too, but also I got it when it came out in Japan, like the international release with or not international, but overseas release. So the only people there was only like I don't know 1,000 or so Americans that actually had it, and so I'm playing people all over the United States, and it seems all right.
Well,
so I don't imagine it getting much worse when the player base dies down.
Here's the catch: those guys all were probably also trying to play seriously, and then had optimal conditions. So
well, yeah, I mean, I'm only gonna play you if you have green bars. Like I'm not gonna try to play bad connections, which that's gonna limit how much you can play. And when you have rollback netcode, it widens the range of who you can play and whatnot. Like I understand. I'm just saying if there's ever a playable delay based netcode, it's Grand Blue. Definitely not Dragon Ball. Sam Show is extremely hard to play. Sam Show is the weirdest netcode I've ever seen in my life because I could play someone 100 miles away and it feels like shit, and then I connect to random dude in France and it's like, oh, this is completely playable. It makes no sense to me. So I don't know what SNK did with that game or why it works the way it works, but yeah, Sam Show, Dragon Ball, Street Fighter 4, like all the delay based games, they're all Marvel 3. Holy shit, that is the worst netcode I've ever seen. Yeah, a lot of delay-based games they're just not even worth trying to play online. It feels like shit. But Grand Blue so far has been playable, so it's been enjoyable. And it's dope because up until yesterday, only FGC people in America had the game, so everybody I played was at least decent. So that was kind of cool to actually get experience against decent players, not just randos that want to look at waifus.
Yeah, you're about to destroy a bunch of fucking guys just like that for like at least 3 months.
Yeah, most likely. But that's okay because I'll just take the opportunity to learn new characters.
The game itself does not appeal to me. But no,
that's fair.
That's not a complete statement. The core game itself, I love to death. It's my favorite shit ever. Everything about the core game is amazing. I hate them goddamn characters. I don't like any
how they look.
I don't like any of the designs on any of the fucking characters. All of them are like, I could tell they were made as a JPEG to sell to horny people. Myes,
but at least they're not naked.
Yeah.
Yo, if Charlotta was dressed up. If she was dressed up like Mika from Eunice is, I would not play Grand Blue. I legitimately stopped playing BB Tag and Eunice on those games because there's really gross little girl characters that were half naked. I just couldn't go. I was like, man, I can't do it. This is not for me. But so far, everybody in Grand Blue has proper armor and clothing on, so I can deal with it. I'm not a big anime fan or watcher. I don't play gacha games. I don't have a waifu, so I feel you. I feel you on that regard. That those characters are not necessarily for my design, my design taste, for my aesthetic either. But the game itself has been so much fun to me. I haven't had this much fun with a game, man. Probably it's been a really long time. Maybe since Marvel 3 came out, where I'm I actually want to lab stuff and learn safe jumps and all that stuff. I would say Sam Show was that fun, but there's not much to lab. It's not that type of game. So,
I mean, I like the game. I like it a lot. The core, love it. Characters, it's just saying, it ain't working, man.
Hey, man, they're all just functions, right?
Oh God, that's a curse. That's a curse quote.
It is. That's what happens when you make someone do PR that they weren't hired to do PR. Man, I felt bad for Combo Fiend.
I feel bad for Combo Fiend. I don't.
That
That
was not his fault. That was not his fault.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve a lot of the shit he gets because he's not responsible for all these fucking decisions that were made.
No, and he was just trying to make the best of a shitty situation.
Damn, that was rough. I wonder what he's up to now. I haven't seen him in a while.
He works for Marvel.
No.
He does. He works for Marvel. Marvel Games or something like that, like the mobile game division or something or other. Yeah, he definitely does. He's been seen in some pictures and he's been seen in the credits. Peter Rosas has been in the credits for some games. Also, I want to say he was at Wednesday Night Fights not too long ago playing Street Fighter. So he's still around.
That's cool. I mean, I like Combo Fiend. I mean,
Combo Fiend is a legend.
One of my memories, like early FGC memories, when I first like started getting more in tune with like FGC events, was Combo Fiend doing Bionic Arm like 3 times the fucking Marn final round.
Yeah, the Ultra David Bionic
Arm. Yeah, man, I fucking.
That's classic.
That shit was a classic. Oh man, that was good. That was like. That cemented Combo Fiend into my brain. I was like, damn, that guy's good. And, you know, then I saw he got a job, you know, with Capcom. And I was like, okay, this is going to be pretty cool. And then, oh boy, Street Fighter 5 came out. Those were trying times for me as a player.
Man, I am so grateful for Street Fighter 4, and I'm so grateful for Street Fighter 5 for very opposite reasons. I feel like both times Street Fighter kind of saved the FGC in a way. So 4 definitely revived the FGC, right? Like we wouldn't have any of this that we have now if it wasn't for Street Fighter 4.
I would say at the very least, Street Fighter 4 injected a lot of new faces, like easily. All over the place.
It rejuvenated the FGC for big facts. Like, I mean, they had a down point up until then where people were kind of dwindling and blah blah blah, and then 4 happened and big boom, right? And then 5 came out and it fucked up so hard that all these people that only played Capcom games up until that point said, you know what, I'm gonna go try Guilty Gear and I'm gonna go try Tekken, I'm gonna go play Mortal Kombat, I'm gonna play all these games that I never thought I would try before. And now we have Dragon Ball Fighters, we have Granblue. We have all these. Sam Show came back. We have all these other fighting games that I don't think would have ever come out if people didn't decide to go play something that wasn't Street Fighter. Well, now Street Fighter 5 is a decent game. Like, it took them 4 years, but it's a decent game now. I can't complain about it. I think it's fun to play.
It's funny because what you said is what happened to me essentially. Because 5 came out. And I was like playing, and I was like trying to like stomach it, but then they made DPs non-invincible.
Yeah,
I checked out. I checked out immediately. And
that's where I cut off at that point too. I tried to play a little bit of season 2, but they nerfed the shit out of my character. I didn't.
I played Alex. So how do you think I felt? I was super depressed.
Rough.
I was like, why would
that's your fault though? Why would you play Alex? I mean, there's a local here that plays Alex. I always tell him the same thing. What are you doing?
He wasn't a bad character before. I promise you, season 1 he was solid. But that shit happened, and then like 5 never like appealed to me after that because of the decisions they were making. They were trash. All the decisions they made were fucking horrible, and the game was trash. Like, to me anyway. I know some people like 5, but to me it was garbage. Like, there was nothing redeemable about it. The netcode was fucking trash. The balance was fucking stupid. The balance decisions were stupid. They nerfed Alex halfway through season 2. Why again? They nerfed Alex twice. And then I was like, okay, well, let me play other fighting games. And I would have never in my fucking like previous self played Guilty Gear seriously or Tekken, and I ended up playing both.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, that's legitimately what happened. Like dead ass. That's people got pissed off at 5, and they're like, all right, well, Tekken's supposed to be great, and so many people play Tekken now. I mean, Tekken's definitely like king of FGC at the moment.
Yeah, for sure.
It is the fucking game to play.
It came in right. It came right when it needed to come in. The only thing is like, to me, I didn't end up enjoying Tekken So I stopped playing Tekken, right? And then Sam Show came out, and I was like, this is the game. Like, this is I'm finally getting a game like that I feel that appeals to me. And because I played 4, right? So I was just like so used to the neutral being just like left, right, sweep, or like left, right, poke. And then you get like a big moment where you get like a medium confirm into some extra damage, right? Mm-hmm. So to me, Sam Show like appealed to me. And I think Grand Blue appeals to me for the same reason. Because it kind of has that same flow as Street Fighter 4 to me, where you just like play neutral and then like you just cash out and then like you do your save jump bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely similar to 4 in that regard, where I'll spend meter and I get the hard knockdown and I get a safe jump and you're eating more pressure. But you don't ever, well, maybe outside of like Ladiva or Fairy, I don't ever feel like I get snowballed. Like, I feel like when I get hit in that game, whereas in 5 for a really long time, I didn't always feel like I was taking damage that was earned, mostly because of like throwing out heavy and they got a crush counter, now I eat 350 damage and things like that. Just didn't feel good. Whereas in Grand Blue or Street Fighter 4, when you get hit by something big, you probably deserved it.
Yeah, that's the difference here, is that most of the arguments I made with some of my friends, they're like, well, you say you don't like big damage, but in Sam Show you get big damage and this. I'm like, look, man, if you get hit by a heavy in Samurai Shodown with like 28 frames of startup, and then it has like fucking 35 frames of recovery, then that's your own goddamn fault. Like, what can you say? Like, the game's balance is like, the higher the damage, the more punishment that awaits you for doing it. So I can't argue with proper balance decision making based around like a button. 5, there's so many crush counters that are plus, and then you die if you hit.
Yeah, part of the problem is a lot of characters like Urian, for example. One of their best, if not their best, poke is their crush counter button. Like, that's all right. Yeah, sure, guys, but. Nothing excess in the chat. Why am I free to you in CVS2? Because you're 97 years old and play that game brand new. That's why.
I don't trust people that play games before esports was around. They're definitely dangerous.
Yeah. No, Nothing excess is actually pretty nice at CVS2. He would definitely body me.
I just imagine like the esports generation is like these people that walk around with like fucking all this high tech gear. Like the Vitrix stick, and then but they're like walking around with like actual like firearms, and then like the fucking people that played back in the day are walking around, they're like the cavemen with clubs, and they're just beating the shit out of the guys, the fucking guns with just the club,
walking around with their mop sticks.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, hey, bitch, you want to play some CVS too? And they just bust out the Moz, and I'm like, dude, you better get that shit away from me.
Big old wooden box. With bolts. It just has actual bolts on it.
Pokechop still plays on a Moz stick. He plays...
Dude, some players do. It's wild.
He won't use it for anything except for Marvel 2. Like, if he plays Marvel 2, he'll bring out the Moz stick. But
that makes sense. That's what he learned on. That makes sense.
I don't know how they play on that son bitch. That shit hurts my hands. Because the spacing between the individual buttons is very not hand-shaped. So
no. I don't know. You'll notice like a lot of those players pick up their entire hand and move it to hit the buttons. They don't just leave their hand on the home row. Basically, they're gonna move their entire hand to smack the buttons. And a lot of old school players hit buttons really hard, and that's why.
I understand.
I mean, I hit buttons hard too, but I that's not why. I just have big old heavy hands.
I'm pretty dainty with my button presses, but I've never. My first stick was the Street Fighter 4 TE. Man, that was my first like big purchase as like a 18-year-old. I was like, I'm gonna buy me this stick so I can up my game, because I wore out like 4 Xbox 360 fucking pads before.
Yeah, that'll happen.
I was like, that's it.
My first stick was the Hori Real Arcade Pro EX for Xbox 360, and at the time it came with like these garbage Hori buttons, and I think I imported it from Japan. I got it from like Play Asia or something. So I had to go get a toolkit that was in the metric system, so I could open it up and replace the buttons with Sanwas. But it did have a Sanwa lever, so that was fine.
See, I bought the TE2, not TE2, the TE specifically because I researched the shit out of like arcade sticks before I bought it, and the only thing I saw people complain about was the buttons on like the standard edition. Yeah. And they said the standard edition, like the buttons are trash and the stick was trash.
It was, yeah.
And then they were like, hey, but you know, the TE has the Sanwa buttons and the Sanwa stick. And I was like, well, I don't want to open this shit up. They say it's easy, but I don't want to do it. So I bought the TE. And I
wanted a TE, but they were sold out everywhere. So
yeah, I got really lucky. Like they were not. I got the last one, and I ain't seen one since, like on the shelf and like nowhere. I actually saw I went to a game store at this local that was happening, and they had a standard edition in box, like brand new. And
wow, weird.
I thought about it. I was like, maybe I should buy this thing and mod the shit out of it just for old times.
Right.
But I still have my TE. And it's still functional and it works on everything. I modded it so that it had the brick converter in it. So I keep it.
Nice.
I keep it because it's like sentimental. Like, hey, this is the thing I grew up on. But I might pass it on to my son one day or some shit.
Man, I wish I had all my original sticks. I gave like half of. So I used to. I don't want to say get paid in arcade sticks, but basically, like, people did not give out cash for commentary, you know, from like 2009 to 2012 or 13.
Yeah.
But they would have like sponsorships and they'd have arcade sticks. So I would just be like, oh, hey, if you do commentary, we'll give you a stick. So I would end up either giving a bunch of them away or selling them. But man, I've probably had like 20 or so arcade sticks. Like if I count all the ones that I was basically paid with over the years. And I kind of wish I would have kept them all, just to like have a collection, because there's so many like stick collectors and I'm always jealous of what they have.
Yeah, I mean, some people bust out them crazy ass sticks I've never even seen, and they're like, yeah, this is the limited edition Dark Chun-Li TE1 only released in the Philippines, and it's like some dope stick. I'm like, damn, I wish I had that fucking stick.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool ones out there
nowadays though. I mean, let's be real now, like you could totally just replicate anything because there's so much customization you can do with most sticks these days. You can just like do whatever the fuck you want and make it look just like something else if you felt like it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, there's also a lot of good like custom stick makers out there as well.
Yeah, I have my sticks custom, and the only reason I'm not playing on my TE2 is because we have a local guy that who has a CNC machine who crafts these sticks out of wood. And they look really sick. Like they look really good. So I've been using that stick since shit, man, KIT 2019. So it's almost 2 years. That was back when I was a Heihachi player, and like I was like, I'm gonna learn Korean. So that guy was building them sons of bitches from scratch, right? So I'm like, okay, he's building them from scratch. I know he can stick a Korean stick in this shit. So he did. And I've had it ever since, and
nice.
It's been good. I need to replace the stick with the golden lever, but I just haven't gotten around to it. I need to do it though. I don't play Tekken anymore, so I don't need because the Korean stick I had in there was the Crazy Dong Pao like variant of the Crown, and it's supposed to help you hit Electric Wind God Fist because of the way the actuator is put in. And I just ended up I don't even need that anymore. So all it is like a detriment to me in 2D fighting games. I don't need that shit. But in 3D, it's godlike. I mean, if anyone ever wants to like play me in Tekken, I can hit my electrics. But I don't really value that anymore because I'm just not playing Tekken anymore. Not because the game is terrible. I just don't. The game just does not appeal to me in any fucking way. I just can't. I can't handle taking high damage out of nowhere from a hop kick that crushed from my fucking mid for some reason. Like, why are you hop? I don't know how much you play Tekken, but that's an egregious defense to me.
I've watched quite a bit, but I have not really played it. I don't want to. I've played like maybe 10, 15 minutes where a friend tried to explain the game to me, and immediately I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stick to my 2D fighters.
I mean,
have fun with this though.
To be completely fair, playing Tekken truly is a life decision. That game, the amount of knowledge you need to just survive is too high. So I ran into even though I'm like a seasoned player at this point, I ran into a unique problem to Tekken where people I play, even if they're not good at Tekken, are very dangerous because defense in that game is insurmountably more difficult than offense. So if you aren't like well varied and haven't like labbed 1,000 things in that game to defend yourself, people that can put like 2-3 strings on you and you're fucking dead. And he may or may not be as knowledgeable as you or better than you as a whole, but them 2 strings, if you weren't ready for them 2 strings, I don't give a fuck how good you are. You're gonna probably lose. I mean, real, like it's devastating. That shit is really devastating. Because the only reason it's like that is because the strings usually end up the dumb ones anyway, usually have some kind of ender that crushes, which just beats shit, or is a counter hit ender that just gives them insane damage. So it's devastating. You truly have to climb this mountain to just be better than your average Joe in that game.
Yep. It's not easy. Learning Tekken is not easy. It's like you said, it's a life choice.
Yeah. Sam Show's different though. I mean, I learned how to space people out in Sam Show, and I'm already better than everyone for the most part. Like, I learned how to space people out with Tam Tam, and then until I played Andy, even Andy, that was a close match. But until I played Andy and like Goro, and by local players, anyone I ran into, they were just like a non-issue because I was able to keep them at a distance where they would never be a threat to me, and they can never throw anything at me I've never seen, because the Sam Show is all about like footsies, right? So like, if their footsies weren't better than mine, then nothing they did was gonna be threatening to me in any way. So
yeah, that's part of the appeal I try to tell people about the game is, so a lot of games are scientific now. You have to know frame data and exactly what does what. It's Sam Show, like, all right, so every video game in existence forever in history will always be hurt boxes and frame data at its base level, right? Like, scientifically, that's how it's going to be.
Yeah.
That's how it is. But the way you go about playing Sam Show, a lot of that stuff isn't as important. A lot of it is hard reads and the way you feel and just reactionary. So you don't have to know that, oh, I was thrown and now I'm -12 to this thing, but I could backdash to kind of avoid the counter hit. You don't have to know all that shit. You just see, oh, I blocked this thing, I can do this. It's really simple. Or I weapon flip them and then I do this. Like it's not that in depth. Like, I don't want to say it's shallow.
Well, it's
just not scientific.
The whole game, the way you win that game is like just. I mean, obviously, all fighting games have strategy, but this game is like 100% strategy, in the sense that like the way you have to put together a plan in order to build for a big moment, like a very clear-cut, decisive moment in the 3rd round or the 2nd round, or in the next game even. Like, sometimes I'll give you an example. So in this game, since it's a game of turns, and like, I swing, you swing, I swing, you swing, because nothing's fucking plus, right? So we're taking turns. And I will sometimes not punish people just because. And then like in the 3rd game, or like the 3rd round of a game, suddenly I show them I knew that shit was SSM punishable the whole time.
I mean, that's how you play the game. It's all feel. It's all mind games. There's very little set play.
Yeah,
very little.
There's only like 2 characters I could think of that can even do set play, and they're trash.
I mean, well, it's because there's always a way out. You can always roll forward, delay, wake up, or roll backwards. Like, you can always, there's always a way out on wake up. And most games don't always have a way to get out no matter what. So Sam Show has that, and it just resets neutral, and then oh hey, we're back in neutral again. And the other thing about Sam Show is that you can always come back because damage is high. So if you make one good read, if you get one WFT, if you steal someone's weapon, or you can almost always come back. It's a very exciting game in that regard.
I rarely feel cheated in that game too, because usually the comeback comes from something where the opponent had earned or like trained me into doing, right? So like if he deflects me and it was because I was just obviously doing something every single time and I was just being lulled into like a false sense of security, he earned that shit. There was no moment of randomness or like he just bashed right here because the fucking the result is gonna be in his favor no matter what. It was like he designed that. And so since he designed that and the only result, and that is the exact result he wanted, and anything other than that was going to be bad for him, that means that he made this good ass read that he built in from like the get go. To me, my problem with like 5 is that like, because obviously like 4, Sam Show, like I always have to make this comparison because I have some. You know who Dat Vip is?
yeah, of course. I'm a Marvel player, of course I know Vip.
Yeah, so fucking Dat Vip, he always complains about Eason and shit. And he's always like, Eason's stupid, but he's so avid about Street Fighter 5. And like, he's like, Eason's way worse than V-Trigger. I'm like, are you fucking smoking something?
No.
He says,
sorry, no.
He says because it's one hit and it does a lot, it's cheap. And I try to explain to him, like, look, you have to understand that we only get one per game. And even so, if you botch it, you lose the round, like right there. And it's not like,
not to mention it slows the game down.
Yeah,
it does not speed things up. It doesn't do what you would think a comeback factor, for lack of a better term, would do. It completely puts the game at a halt. Whereas V-Trigger, oh, I popped this shit, now it's party time. Yeah. Or like X Factor, I popped this shit, now it's party time. Like, no. Eason, like, oh shit, my opponent popped Eason, I'm gonna back away now. It's the complete opposite of what every other comeback factor, V-Trigger, X Factor, Instinct, etc., has been in the past 10 years. It does the complete opposite because you don't want to get hit by that shit, and it's relatively easy to avoid. I mean, you if you don't jump and you don't hit a button, the best they get is throwing a WFT, and like that hurts, that sucks, but you're not going to eat the 60%, 70% Eason.
And even then, you might not even eat that
defensive
because you can just burst back at them.
Yeah,
if you're smart anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, you can use your own rage burst to get out of the situation. So it's way more of a defensive tool than it is. It's a defensive tool, I feel, with the ability to be offensive. But generally speaking, you're not going to be using it to put on the pressure. You're using it to get out of a bad situation.
Yeah, I use it to slow the opponent down in order to approach. So like the best way I could, like, I'll say this. So like when I play Terrence or Bates, when I burst, that is not an invitation for me just to go in and run at them, because they will always hit me, and I can always run forward and do Eason just as a guess. But if it doesn't work, I just lose right there.
Yeah, you're done. you're eating a heavy, or at the best, like it's.
I mean, you get SSM. You get SSM.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's at the worst. You're eating SSM. At best, you're eating heavy slash.
Yeah, so like
you're eating 300 damage minimum if your Eason is blocked. Like you're gonna lose.
Yeah, and then also if he hasn't popped his, he's definitely about to beat your ass with his.
Yep. Yeah, I'm sorry, Vip. You played Marvel 3 for how many years, and you're complaining about Eason? X Factor exists. You're complaining about Eason. I mean, I know you play Iron. Come on, dude.
I wanna believe he's trolling, but I thought he was just joking. But he's been very adamant about it for like
a month
now. So I don't know. That dude's crazy.
He doesn't actually play Sam Show though, does he?
He's been playing lately. We convinced him.
Oh, so he's new then. That's why he's complaining.
No, well, he played like a month and a half ago, 2 months now, I think. And I can't tell if he's just deliberately not practicing and then complaining about nothing. because even if he hasn't practiced, he still shouldn't be complaining about fucking Isen. Because obviously, if you just look at it on paper, it's not even close to as cheap as V-Trigger or fucking X Factor.
No.
When was the last time somebody popped V-Trigger? When was the last time someone popped fucking Urian's V-Trigger and was negative 45?
Never.
And you know what? That shit will kill you.
Not once.
That shit will kill you too, like guaranteed if you get hit. So I don't know. The whole thing's fucked. I don't know what the argument was. That's why I prefer Samurai. I don't like comeback mechanics at all. But if there had to be one, I'll take Samurai Showdowns as like the least offensive one currently in our fighting games right now.
I don't think Isen's a problem. If somebody said I don't like Isen because it ruins the pace of the game and it slows everything down, sure, I can see their point on that. But if you don't like Isen because it does 65%, well, then you're a dumbass that got hit by Isen. You shouldn't be jumping, basically.
Yeah, or
that's the only reason you should get hit by it. Or you've already used your Isen, used your Rage Burst, and you don't have a way to get out anymore. Which, again, your fault.
The only thing is, that's why I will say this. I don't have a problem with Isen completely. I wish the damage was a little less, but I have a problem with fucking Shizu avoiding that scenario, which is why did
I'll say that Shizu should not be able to cancel Umbrella and Fake and then float again and do it like infinitely.
Yeah,
you should get like maybe one or two of them and then have to land. I do think it's silly that he can do it forever.
He should only get one. Why did he get more than one? Who needs that? Why does he need that? The only purpose it serves is to bait Isen. Really, you will never do that other than just to bait Isen. You will never Umbrella, re-Umbrella, Umbrella, re-Umbrella, unless it's to bait Isen. Because otherwise, we're going to hit your ass out of the air. So, like, it's just to bait Isen. That's just so fucking frustrating.
Hold that. He needs it. Hold it.
Oh yeah, he needs it. That man got an Isen that carries him between rounds.
Listen,
that's low confirmable.
Everything he has, he needs it.
Man, I cannot wait.
As a matter of fact, buff Shizu.
I can't wait till that child has 130. I can't wait till he takes 130% damage to some shit. I can't wait. That's the future. I hope. I don't know for sure, but I hope he does.
I just hope they make other characters stronger because I think back to Genjiro, and they definitely over nerfed Genjiro.
They should just make his honestly, they not only did they over nerf him, but they didn't compensate him for the changes. So like the his biggest dilemma to me is that his weapon flip is trash. And
the
whole reason
it only lasts like 3 seconds. What the hell?
Yeah, he's got 3 problems. 7-second timer. Weapon flip is useless almost, and then his overhead is gone. So the whole reason why his timer is short and like his weapon flip is supposed to be trash is because he has an overhead that confirms into it, right? But he got rid of the overhead, so why the fuck did we leave everything else? It kind of reminds me of when 5 nerfed DPs and so they're not invincible anymore, but they still get crush countered. Like, why the fuck did you leave that? Like, they don't.
Yes, it's a weird decision.
So, like, Genjiro suffers the same thing. Like, why did you leave the weapon flip useless and get rid of the overhead?
Yeah, I would have. I mean, just because Scrubs cried too much, I probably would have taken away the overhead, but I would have let his WFT timer, his rage meter, stay what it was. There's no reason to change that to 7 seconds. And also, I think his biggest nerf was they took away juggle off card air hit.
Oh yeah, that's Bates' biggest complaint.
Yeah, dude. Like first and foremost, he was fun because of that. Like that shit was fun. Second off, you could easily get out of the mix. Like all you had to do was blowback. That's how you got out of it. And nobody wanted to learn it, so people just complained and they got blown up. But yeah, man, if you could still juggle after the air card hit, I think he would still be really fun to play, and he wouldn't be overpowered because of it. They can give him all the other nerfs that he had besides, the rage meter. Definitely, his light DP needed to be nerfed. That shit was silly.
Yeah, it was a
So
little too
I'm
good.
glad that they gave that recovery. I'm glad they took away invincibility on it. Like that's fine. But all the other stuff on top of it, and especially the no card juggle, like that sucks. Now he has no reason really to throw cards.
The he honestly, even if they made it juggle again, it would need to be buffed so the recovery was lower again. Because the way it is now, you wouldn't be able to juggle anything because they put too much recovery on the fucking card to do anything anymore.
Yep. Yeah. It was They over nerfed him. So I hope they don't do that to Shizu. And honestly, I don't know what I would change about Shizu to make him not as good as he is.
Yeah, I got a fucking idea. How about not make the fucking low 3 hits? How about you make it 1? Just make it 1 hit.
That doesn't bother me as much. I don't think that's huge. Like maybe.
Oh, you don't think that's cheap?
No. I mean, it's whatever. I just think maybe don't let him confirm beyond the first hit.
No, he can like let him do the first hit and cancel, right?
Yeah,
just don't give him 2. Why?
I don't know why they give him multiple
why?
hits. I don't think that would like make him not top tier though.
I mean, well, the one of my issues with Shizu is that when he does Rage Burst, he holds your ass hostage because he's got he has that low that his hit confirmable, right. And then he has a running option select. So like,
yep,
you're fucked, and then he can run throw. So like, it's like at that point you fucked. So get rid of the low to not make it do a hit confirm, and then maybe I'll accept it because then it'll make it so that if you want to do tap off a low, even without the Rage Burst, you have to commit, and then if you have to commit, then obviously it makes you open to be more punished, right? Because it's SSM punishable. So at least you'll have to hard commit to the move that's going to kill me in one shot instead of being able to hit confirm, because no one else in the game can hit confirm like that except for Earthquake, and his is a fucking his is like -8 on hit or some shit.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if that would make him. I think he'd still be really damn good.
He would.
Put it this way: if that was the only nerf they gave him, I'd be like, yeah, that's fine. You didn't over nerf, but I feel like they're probably gonna over nerf him.
Well, I just want the low to not be a hit confirm, and I don't want you to be able to float twice. That's it, and then I'm fine. His JC can get some work, but to make it not honestly, the only change I would make to his JC is so his fucking hurt box didn't shrink. Then that way he's not immune to Tsubame Gaishi and DPs and shit. That'd be nice. That shit just straight up trades all kinds of shit for something just because of the hurt box.
I feel like they're gonna completely shave that hitbox down, and they're gonna make it come out slower. It comes out way too fast.
Yeah, it's fast. It's like
it comes out faster than most characters jump M's. So
and then it reaches like so far, like fast.
Yeah, it's a dominant button. It's too good. But I feel like SNK is gonna over nerf. They're gonna make it useless, and they'll take away hit confirmable low C, and they're gonna go ham on them. But that's kind of what they did to Genjiro, and that sucked too. So
we'll see. Who knows? They might just leave them the fucking same because they ain't changed shit about Charlotte or Jubei or Ukyo, and they've been the same almost just about since the beginning. The only thing that changed for like Jubei was that now he can't die from burst, and then he can't get throw into weapon flip. But essentially his character has not been even touched since the first patch.
Yeah.
And then Charlotte's the same. She hasn't been touched since the first patch. They just nerfed her 5D. And then they haven't touched Ukyo at all, I think.
Ukyo
really.
got better.
Yeah, he got better just because everyone
got
worse.
buffed.
Yeah, he got changed in a way that was unnecessary. So, you may not get nerfed because I really don't understand. Because outside of that first patch with Genjiro, which was a knee-jerk reaction, the other patches have been sensible. So I don't know. I don't want to believe they'll do it again.
We'll see.
I mean, you can only hope, right? Would you go back to Genjiro if
I still play him. I still play him. Like, it's
would you be like, I'm done with, like, I'm a Genjiro main, like that's
if they nerf Shizu to the ground and they take away like that's the part of the reason why the main reason I play Shizu is because I like characters that have options, and he has all of them, so I don't have to like necessarily stick to one game plan. I can adjust freely. So yeah, if they took away a lot of his fun stuff, then I would switch.
A character. Can't blame you for wanting to pick a good character. I mean, that's technically the smartest. All right? It's the smartest thing you could do. I mean, look, man. I feel like I've been playing as much as I've been shitting on 5. I have been playing a lot lately because Terrence comes over to play Sam Show, right? So it's like almost it's not a good idea to not play Street Fighter with Terrence. So I've been playing Street Fighter with him, and I've been like, man, what? Eventually, I was like, what am I doing playing Sagat? Why am I playing Sagat? This is the dumbest shit I've ever done. I finally had a moment. I was like, this is the stupidest fucking shit I've ever done. I was like, am I? Because I've been a Sagat player for like ever, but in this game, he just ain't going to fucking work. So I'm like, this is the dumbest fucking shit I've ever done. I need to put a stop to this now. So I've been playing G. And now I'm playing G. Smart. I feel like a goddamn genius.
Yep.
The G stands for genius. That
is exactly how that goes, man. Like, as Americans, we have it hard enough. We don't have health care. Taxes are wild.
If we had
nothing from them.
If we had health care, I would have damn went to the doctor by now by this damn cough.
If we had health care, you could afford to pick low tier. Because if you had stresses in your life, you could go see a therapist and it would be taken care of, all right? But in 2020, we don't have universal health care, and going seeing a therapist and talking about picking low-tier characters, that's going to cost you $200 a week.
I know.
And nobody has money for that shit.
I know.
So they got to pick a top tier in 2020.
They can't even give me advice either. What am I paying $200 for? They're going to be like, their advice is going to be, pick a top tier.
Yeah, dog, straight up. Straight up, it's gonna be Sanford sitting in sitting in a desk chair. On the couch.
He's gonna have the fucking notebook. He's gonna have the fucking the notebook and pen. He's like, make the game work for you.
he's gonna turn around his clipboard. It's gonna be a picture of Shizu. I prescribe one Shizumaru. That'll fix all your problems. Yeah, no, pick top tier. Don't stop working hard.
It's funny. I know this is kind of off topic, but Sanford plays Sagat.
yeah, that's why I thought of Sanford.
What a turn of events! He's like, pick a top tier, and then now he's playing Sagat in Street Fighter 5.
Well, I mean, he played him in 4, and when he picked him,
he was a top tier. But I mean, he knows for damn sure that character is not top tier now. He knows for sure that shit ain't top tier.
Yeah.
So he's just doing it out of stubbornness. Like I was doing that out of stubbornness. Yep. I literally picked Sagat because I played him in 4 and in ST. And I'm like, fuck it, man. Let me just run this shit with 5. And, I can only hit people with Fireball, and they swing with heavy on hit and crush counter me so many times before I'm like, I snap. I'm like, that's it. I'm done. I can't fucking play this Sagat in this game. There's no way I could throw -2 Fireballs on hit in this trash game with no pushback. So if I hit him with Fireball, they can just fucking swing with heavy and kill me. and then their heavy's plus on block.
Yeah,
fuck that shit.
Hold that.
Trash. I mean, I'm glad Sam Show ain't got no shit like that. If you hit someone with a button, don't press some shit again, because honestly, they might just beat you out on hit.
Yep.
Because it's a game of turns. So even on hit is their turn. But it's the same way the other way around. Obviously, if they hit you, you can take your turn as well. So, I don't know. I like it. Also, deflect is a really good way to make people not want to fucking mash buttons. I mean,
yes.
Do you really want to mash? I mean, do you? That's the quickest way out the bracket. Pressing jab twice back to back. That's the most embarrassing way to get knocked out of a tournament to me. It's pressing medium 3 times and then getting buried. It's why would you do that? Why would you why would you throw away 80% in 2 seconds?
But then there's those crazy moments too where somebody will hit kick, or they'll be in a position what I'm thinking of Diddy Mokov at Frosty Faustings against Score, when he had Score to a point where he could basically chip him out, and he could have hit any button in the world, but he chose to hit, I think it was stand medium, and got deflected and Score SSM'd him to kill. It was just so wild that out of all the times to deflect, was at a point where all Diddy had to do was hit 5K over and over again.
Oh yeah,
but he chose to hit a button. Yeah, and he deflected him, ate the SSM, and ended up winning that game.
If I remember,
Diddy won the tournament, but
if I remember correctly, I think the even crazier part was I think he did a running medium, and so he knocked the weapon out of his hand, so he couldn't burst. It was
yeah.
It was either that.
No, he had already used his ESET.
Okay, that's what it was. I was like, either he couldn't burst or he knocked the weapon out of his hand.
He just didn't have it.
Damn.
Yep. So at the one time that he needed the deflect to work, it did. That was wild. That was probably my favorite moment of that tournament. But I was super pumped that Diddy won. I was trying to not be biased on commentary the best I could, but man, I was so excited. I was like shaking James Chen the entire time. I was like, man, this is crazy. But yeah, I do my best to not be biased on commentary, at least so people can hear me. There's definitely times I was muting the mic and just like screaming and yelling at James. So
I mean, that's the good stuff. I mean, obviously the commentators like enjoys the game. They're gonna be excited as fuck when some exciting shit happens.
Yeah.
We wouldn't hold it against you just to scream into the mic. I would never hold it.
I'm pretty sure I did a few times. But yeah, man, I had a good time commentating Sam Show Top 8. I hope that more places want me to do commentary for Sam Show, but man, again, that's one of those situations where the game doesn't have a pro tour, so.
Well, I mean, honestly, and the other thing you said is also true. I mean, locally we have 2 commentators, and they're very good at commentating Samurai Shodown. They know the game very well, and I want them to commentate at final round because they're definitely the most what's the word I'm looking for? They're the most qualified because they literally just watch Sam Show and commentate Sam Show locally.
Sure. So
they should be doing it for final round because that's ours. That's right. That's Georgia. But you know, it's almost the same thing you said. Like, you know, Doggy was like, no, it was either Doggy or Coach. He's like, look, if you're not from like Cali, he's like,
it's not happening.
He's like, it's hard. He's like, if you're not like picked by Capcom or picked by so and so, then you're not gonna. I remember he said something like, you know, if I'm here at final round and then someone else that was picked by Capcom is also at final round, like James Chen or something. And then James Chen also likes Samurai Shodown. They're gonna probably just pick James Chen if he's just willing to do it, regardless.
Yeah, that's why I feel lucky that I still get hired quite a bit because I don't know. I guess it speaks to my talent. I don't really know. Who knows? But I feel lucky that I still get hired for events and all that because I know, man, there's so many people who really want to commentate and are really, really talented and good at it, and they try and they practice and all these things, but you know, the opportunities just really aren't there for them. It's not exactly, I don't want to say it's unfair, but odds are against you. The odds are definitely against you if you want to break into commentary.
It's just the nature of the job because it's not like you would have to. You really do need to already be, because the tour guys are already hand choosing their people, right?
Yep.
So if you're not in there, then you're obviously not going to get to commentate that tour event anyway. So your only option is to go commentate at a regional that isn't on the tour. And then, you know,
which has less viewers.
Yeah, less everything.
And yeah, it's just, it's tough. It's tough. I have a hard time. A lot of people come to me and ask me, you know, how do you get into commentary? And, you know, what should I do? And, you know, I mean, I have my generic answer I'll give them on what they should do and the advice and blah, blah, blah. But every single time I almost want to tell them, like, it's honestly not worth the effort because you're probably not ever going to profit from it. So if you're trying to do this to make money and you're not just doing it for the love and you're honestly not willing to come out of your own pocket to fly yourself around for years, because that's what I did. I mean, it's generally what I still do. I come out of pocket for, I don't profit on tournaments when I do commentary 98% of the time. I generally either will break even or I lose money because I'm not being flown around by big devs. I'm not. My hotels generally are not paid for depending on the event. So it just, if you're not willing to spend your own money and treat it be like, then it's probably not for you. And after I've told a few people that, they go, oh, they legitimately thought that we were out here banking off commentary, and that's just not realistic, man. Like there's actually what 2 or 3 real pro commentators in the FGC. I want to say Yipes, Sajam, and Tasty Steve are the only ones that actually do it full time and don't have jobs outside of content creation and commentary.
And they have the legacy too.
Right, yeah, and I think the rest of us have real jobs. David's a lawyer. Rip is like a community manager. Eris is a full-time streamer. Like, most of us have jobs. I work full-time. Like, most of us have real jobs outside of commentary. So anybody's looking to get into commentary because they think it's lucrative, they should put their effort somewhere else. This is not something you're probably going to make money off of. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's just good luck. It's rough out there.
I wonder if there's anything we can do as a community in order to prop up opportunities for commentators that want
to bigger.
Get bigger. That's the only way.
That's literally the only way, because it's just facts. There's not enough money. Tours aren't happening for every single game. TOs are not banking. Like, they're barely getting by for the most part. A lot of TOs consider themselves lucky to break even on an event. So there's just not the money out there to support commentators or pay commentators. It's not. I want to say the Smash scene isn't quite there yet either. A lot of people doing free commentary. It's just how things are. Or you'll do it for a hotel room or whatever. So it's just, we're just not big enough. And honestly, if we get to the point where we are big enough, like say the Riot fighting game comes out and it's huge and there's, a $10 million pot bonus at the end of the year and all this shit, and there's money thrown at it. By that point, they're probably just going to hire the guys that are already known anyways.
Yeah.
So, it's just, we're in a really, really weird space right now. If you're trying to break into commentary, it can be tough.
I wonder if we could, I feel like the only way we can get bigger as a community isn't really, we don't have, like, tournaments are cool, but I feel like if we had more focused content creators who were entertaining, to bring people who don't normally watch fighting games in to watch fighting games, that's such a good, I mean, Eris to me is like the ultimate that, where like, he's just entertaining, right? And he may have gotten a lot of people, he may have had a little bit of a hand in putting a lot of eyes on Tekken 7 in the beginning. Because to me, I didn't want to play Tekken 7, but I was like, well, let me see who plays Tekken. And I looked up like tutorial for wave dashing, Tekken 7, and Eris was like one of the first guys. I clicked it, right? And I was like, this guy's pretty entertaining. And then I was like, well, I don't know. I don't really know this guy, but let me see what his stream is like. Like, this guy's hilarious. And then I see his stream. He has a lot of numbers. I'm like, is this a fighting game guy? His numbers are high as fuck. And turns out he was, Tekken Tag 2 guy, but like he can also be variety. And so all the people that like him for his variety streams probably at least indulge in Tekken a little bit, not like to watch, because he's bringing his viewership with him to watch Tekken every time he streams. He streams Tekken.
And that's like Maximilian too.
Yeah, Max is like the ultimate that too, to me.
Yeah, Max is a really good bridge for us. Man, I met Max is another dude I randomly met and ran into. We became Xbox Live training buddies for a while when I lived in Las Vegas. We both played Ken. I played Ken when 4 first came out before I switched to Blanca. And we ran into each other like on ranked matches or something and just started playing. That's how I met Max. Me and Max became pals through Xbox Live. I've had so many of those moments where I've met these people that ended up becoming someone in the FGC, and it was just, when I met them, they were just another dude playing Street Fighter 4. So that's kind of cool.
What a crazy fucking background.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Like I've just been in the right place at the right time.
You're nuts,
so many
man.
moments. So many moments.
You told me before when I invited you on this fucking thing, you were like, I'm not that interesting.
I'm not.
Well, you just told me a bunch of interesting shit.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just a normal ass dude.
Well, I mean,
I just like fighting games, man.
We're all normal dudes that like fighting games, except for the weird dudes. But yeah, I mean, it's cool here and stuff like this. This is exactly why I do the show anyway. It's just to find out more about people that have been around. I don't have an interesting background, so I like to see how everyone else kind of like came to and everything.
Well, this could be your origin story. You started running a podcast and got a bunch of cool guests, and they talked about random fighting game, whatever, and that's how you became you. That's your origin story, man.
It'll be my origin story, and then I'll be like, don't listen to my first 3 or 4 because I had a bad cough, and I'm way better in the next 10. But we'll see, man. For real though, this is like I've been playing fighting games for a long time, but making content and being kind of in the cut, this is new to me. Like I've never, not until Lunar Bout, was anybody walking up to me deliberately to greet me and say, "Hey, Painbot, right? You made this for the Sam show," and I'm like, "Yeah." And you did this, right? And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, nice to like that." That was foreign.
That's a good feeling, right?
Well, to me, it was more like, thank God somebody watched those fucking tutorials.
yeah, it's a good feeling. It's good to know that
I helped. That's what it is. To me, I was like, I helped somebody. Thank you, Jesus. Somebody got helped. Because to me, the only reason I'm doing anything is to help people. That's it. Like, this podcast is to help people. You'd be surprised. Like, people would be surprised how like information that people may not find to be important may change somebody else's perspective completely and send them down the right path they want to choose.
Big facts. Yeah, big facts for sure.
And it started off with tutorials. I made the tutorials, and then I was like, you know what? Let's not do those. Let's do podcasts, because there's a lot of people out here in the community that really have interesting backgrounds. And Samurai Shodown is small, but this may be even though it's small, this may be someone else's first chance in that fighting game community, and they may not be acquainted with some of these people that are really been around for a long time, because now we're old.
Yeah,
we're old now. So like, to me, I wasn't old when 4 came out. I'm old now. I'm old, so now it's my turn.
I was 21, 22 then. I was 21.
I was 19, so I'm not that much younger than you.
Yeah, man. Wait till you're 30. Oh wait, no. So you gotta be what?
I'm gonna be 30 in 5 months.
Yikes! Yeah, no, I know that feeling, man.
Yeah, it's horrible. I hope I don't die. I'm assuming that like when the clock strikes fucking 12, my life will just cease.
It does. No, it does. So you'll find out. You're gonna understand what it's like to be 30 very short.
Ugh, Jesus Christ! This is fucking rough. What a rough. I'm gonna like get fucking arthritis like immediately.
No, instantly. Yeah, you're back for your 30th birthday. You're back. That's universal. You're gonna start getting knee pains for no reason. Man, like part of the reason why like over the last it's been a while now, but I started in August 2019. No, 2018. August 2018. I started dieting, and I ended up 20 pounds. But the reason I did that was because I was like, man, I'm too old to be this fat. I have to lose weight. Yeah, like it wasn't like, oh man, like I want to lose weight for this. That was like, legitimately, I'm gonna get diabetes and die. So I'm 30 years old, or 31, I think I was. Like, I have to make a change. So yeah, man, that's hitting your 30s will make you think about that type of stuff. Whereas in my 20s, I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll just be fat and jolly and not worry about it. When I was 30, I was like, man, this is too much. So
I'm getting there. I worry about myself all the time. Obviously, I don't go to the doctor very much because we don't have free healthcare.
Yeah,
But
single payer, that's the way to go, guys. Vote
yeah,
Bernie.
I went to the doctor last year 3 times for athlete's foot. $600.
Yikes.
600
That's
fucking
so
dollars.
whack. Man, I could go on and on about that. I could honestly, we could talk like another 10 hours.
Yeah, I could
we
talk
started
about how
talking
fucked up this
politics.
shit is. It's all fucked. So, but I think I'm gonna end the podcast here because I think we were a little bit over 1 hour and 30 minutes, which is kind of like the target. So we hit that shit. We hit that shit easy, and I hope I can get you back on again. My problem is that I actually have a lot of people lined up, but it's kind of unexpected. I didn't expect people to say yes. So like, this is what happens. Like sometimes, like there was some people I really, really wanted, and like you were one of them. And then, but I also had just people I was like, they're probably not gonna say yes, and they all said yes. So now I'm not gonna like go make all these time slots for everybody because I had not expected people to say yes.
If you're asking people to help out in the Sam Show community, almost everyone will.
I know, it's crazy. It's been
that's
great.
Part of the beautiful part of Sam Show players is like a lot of us are old men, and we know what it's like to need a helping hand. So the community is very open and welcoming. I can't say the same for every fighting game community, but Sam Show community has been super dope. So
I think Kumite and Lunarbout, me just meeting new people, has been like the nicest welcome ever I've ever had. And I was like really taken back by how well, like I tried like I don't know, I just other communities in the FGC, I'm not gonna name anyone specifically because then everyone's gonna get butthurt, but like some of the other ones I tried to get into, and I'm abrasive, I know, because I'm very outspoken and people ain't trying to hear my shit all the time. But the SNK guys were so laid back and chill that I immediately just like all my anger just melted away. Everyone's so cool that like I couldn't help but like want to meet everyone so like as fast as possible. I've never had that. Like I really never had that until I joined the SNK community.
Yeah, that's a good side of a community. But yeah, we'll probably keep going on and on. So I'll let you do your side off.
Yeah, for sure. Or else we'll just be fucking talking forever on a tangent.
Yep.
But all right, guys, I'll catch y'all later. This was Tuboware, and he will be back hopefully in the future. Be sure to follow him on his Twitter and all his stuff. I don't know if you are active on YouTube, but I know you do have a Twitch.
No, I'm not active on YouTube anymore. But yeah, you can follow me. If you Google Tuboware, Tuboware, you'll find all of my social media. Because I'm the only one, so it's kind of nice.
What a clutch name! I'm glad you snagged that name.
I'm like one of the rare people that doesn't have to have underscores or name or numbers after their name. I feel lucky.
Before you go, I was gonna end this shit, but you gotta tell me why your name is Tuboware.
Oh man, it's not even an exciting story. So I played football in high school, and I was a lineman, so I was chunky. And one of my running back, one of my teammates, said I was so big I didn't use Tupperware. I used Tuboware to bring my lunch. So I just thought it was funny, and I just took the name.
Oh, that's actually funny.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny, so I took the name. Because previously, like my online handle was Chicago Bears fan, something, whatever. Blah.
Chicago Bears fan, 1986.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was some dumb shit. So I was like, I like that. I'll take that and use it as my name. So that's where it came from.
Perfect. I'm glad I got that. That was the best way to end this show. All right, all right, guys. I'm out, and see y'all next time.